Amanda Nunes versus Julianna Pena takes place this weekend in the co-main event of UFC 269, Oliveira versus Poirier, and oh my goodness, who knows who's going to win this one? An absolute barn burner, as close as it gets. This will decide who truly is the real women's bantamweight world champion. You've got Julianna Pena, the very deserving contender, of course. She's put together a massive win streak of one. She's on a... Really just one? What? She's on a one-fight win streak right now. Just absolutely running through everyone they give her. I mean, she won her last one, I guess. So, I guess, that's a win in her last fight. And then, before that, she lost to Germaine de Randamie, who got dominated by Amanda Nunes as one of her defenses as well. Of course, she got submitted by standing guillotine choke by Germaine de Randamie, the kickboxing specialist. So, yeah, the jiu-jitsu phenom Julianna Pena, she's so good, she, like, lets kickboxers catch her in, like, the easiest submission to escape in the entirety of MMA. So it's, she's just that level of jiu-jitsu. You know, it's like when Brian Ortega got submitted in a guillotine by... Oh, wait, never mind, it never fucking happened because he's good at jiu-jitsu. But so's Julianna Pena, of course. She's amazing at jiu-jitsu. She submitted the likes of, any submission wins in her... Oh, her last one. Her last fight, she got a submission win against Sarah McMahon. Well, there you go. That's one in her entire UFC career. This jiu-jitsu phenom. She got her first submission win in her last fight in the third round against Sarah McMahon. Watch out, Nunes. You know what I mean? Watch out, Nunes. But Nunes, of course, like, still got to prove that she's the best at bantamweight. Like, until she's beaten Julianna Pena and stopped this amazing and impressive and seemingly unstoppable one-fight win streak, she can't truly call herself the bantamweight champion of the women's divisions in the UFC, and she can't truly call herself the women's GOAT of MMA. So, she needs to get through Julianna Pena this weekend. It's going to be a tough matchup. I'm going to be biting my nails the entire time. I mean, the whole world is going to shut down to tune into this one, because we just can't wait to see what's going to go down. Like, is Julianna Pena's face going to hit the canvas in the first minute, in the second minute, in the third minute, in the fourth minute maybe? Like, who knows how it's going to go down. Like, it's going to be one of those minutes where she's face first on the canvas. So, it's just one of those matchups. Like, do you, like, put more stock into, like, the skill of Amanda Nunes and the punch power of Amanda Nunes and the jiu-jitsu ability of Amanda Nunes and the general wrestling of Amanda Nunes and the toughness of Amanda Nunes and the cardio of Amanda Nunes and, you know, like, everything else that, like, epitomizes a fighter of Amanda Nunes? Or do you put more stock into, and there are some people out there that are doing this, of course, very 50-50 fight here, do you put your stock in all of that of Amanda Nunes, or do you put your stock in, you know, the femaleness of Julianna Pena, the lipstick quality, the positive record of Julianna Pena, the four-letter surname, for fuck's sake. What are we doing here? Nunes is gonna win. I've got to make this fucking video though, so women's MMA is so shit, but Julianna Pena's talking some shit, so she's got, the confidence of Julianna Pena. That's something that we do have to indeed talk about, the confidence of Julianna Pena. She says that Amanda Nunes is ducking her, of course, because, like, you know, by losing to Germaine de Randamie, she was like, all right, now where's my title fight afterwards? And then Nunes said, no, I'm not going to fight you, just lost to Germaine de Randamie. So Nunes clearly ducking the true number. She's the true number, give me a second here to update myself on the information. She's the true, Nunes just really ducking, the true number 3 contender that just got moved up to number 3 because Germaine de Randamie literally got removed from the rankings. Why did that happen? I forgot about that. But yeah, the true number 3 contender in the world. I mean, Julianna Peña's just on that next level. Now, to be fair, she has only lost to Valentina Shevchenko and Germaine de Randamie. So this is not, like, she has a chance of winning. I'm being serious now, by the way. The act is over. She does have a chance of winning. The chance is extremely low. She did better. She did worse against Germaine de Randamie in the grappling than Amanda Nunes did. And Amanda Nunes isn't even a grappler. So, you know, that jiu-jitsu phenom, Julianna Pena, is just living up to her name again. Absolute monster, of course. And, yeah, just, like, look at the stats. Like, Amanda Nunes leads in takedowns as a striker over the grappler, Julianna Pena. She leads, she has equal takedown accuracy, to be fair. But then again, Julianna Peña's been wrestling girls a little bit worse. But then again, she beat Kat Zingano, who beat Amanda Nunes, of course, at 2 very different stages of each of their careers. At the end of Kat Zingano's career, sort of, and at the start of Amanda Nunes' career is where she lost to Kat Zingano. And Julianna Pena, of course, as I just mentioned, beat Kat Zingano at the end of her career and sort of the start of Julianna Peña's UFC career, at least. But yeah, the takedown defense of Amanda Nunes, 84%, the striker, and then the grappler, Julianna Pena, her takedown defense. And here's where things get crazy. 23%, like, ridiculous level. Like, that just shows you the level of, like, grappling that she has, you know? Submission average, obviously the jiu-jitsu phenom, Julianna Pena, is going to have more submission attempts. No, she fucking doesn't. The striker Amanda Nunes, who more likely than not always KOs her opponent in the first round or stays on the feet and beats him up, has more submission attempts per 15 minutes than Julianna Pena. I mean, this really doesn't get any more exciting. Nunes is going to win. She might lose because there's always a chance at a fluke, but there's always a chance that she's not even training anymore. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised. If I was Amanda Nunes, I'd just fucking chill out. Sit at home. Oh, there's a fight. Oh, I'll just go fight him. Basically, what the situation is this. Julianna Pena is a female. And I'm pretty sure she is. Amanda Nunes is a female. And I'm less sure that she is. Let's just say, okay? And maybe there's a chance. Oh, here's the big chance for Julianna Pena. She's an attractive female. She's quite a very attractive female, if I do say so myself, for an MMA fighter. And Nunes is a lesbian. So maybe in, like, some kind of grappling situation within the fight, like maybe Nunes has Peña in a triangle and, like, she looks down at those feminine eyes and all of a sudden starts just fucking leaking everywhere. And, like, that gives lubricant to Peña to get out of the triangle. Who knows how it's going to go down? Or maybe they're in half guard and they're, like, really trying to pass over each other's guard. And all of a sudden Nunes is, like, just fucking strumming one out in the center of the canvas while Julianna Pena rains down ground and pound. But Nunes doesn't care because she's having her moment and she's getting off. Like, maybe there's a chance that she gets so sexually confused by an attractive female that she's really not used to taking on, of course, her last few opponents. Well, Megan Anderson, actually, never mind. I stand corrected, and she put her in a triangle. So Nunes has the ability to suppress her feelings and emotions for these types of bouts. Huge ability for Amanda Nunes. That chucks that one chance from Julianna Pena out the fucking window. But Julianna Pena, her striking is, how do I describe her striking? Sort of like Nunes, like the punches are turned over, you know, she throws like a man, she's got power, she's got speed, she's got accuracy, she's got good technique. Not really great, honestly, not good technique, let's be real. She throws like a retard most of the time. But she has got power and accuracy and speed, and she does punch somewhat correctly for a female MMA fighter. And Julianna Pena, her striking, it's like, it's done with her limbs. You know what I mean? Like, that's the level we're talking about here of striking. Like, her punches are done with her arms and her knuckles and her fists. Like, that's the level of fucking skill we're talking about here when it comes to the grappling. Or the striking, sorry. But when it comes to the grappling, I mean, yeah, we're talking about one UFC career submission in her very last fight. So, yeah, just an absolute phenom on the ground. Nunes better watch out for this one. It literally comes down to the fact if Nunes overlooks her and doesn't give a fuck about the matchup, then she'll lose. And if she goes to the gym at least once a week, then she'll win. And I mean gym as in, like, she doesn't even have to go down to ATT. If she just, like, goes in her garage and hits mitts, like, a couple of minutes a week, then maybe she'll be in shape to do this. But, you know, if she's not getting that one pad session in a week, she really might lose this one. Now, there is a chance, and here's what you're betting on if you are betting on a Julianna Pena win. Something in the late rounds. Peña's got decent cardio, I guess, decent activity, so there's a chance in those later rounds, and I'm being serious again here, of course. There is a chance in the later rounds if you want to make money, maybe. Obviously, by submission, there's a chance, but I would say there's maybe a chance at, like, a KO. I don't know, maybe Nunes just, like, sort of lets her do it just for banter because she's so bored of winning. There's a real chance that could be happening, you know? Like, Nunes realizes she doesn't sell any fucking pay-per-views, so she'll let Julianna Pena beat her, and then move back up and take on Peña again in a rematch just to build more drama and hype into her next fight. That could be, like, a marketing strategy that they go for. But yeah, like, Julianna Peña's gonna die because she's a human sacrifice, and I don't care how ready she says she is on Embedded. She throws punches like a spastic, and she doesn't really have great ground game. So, what are we doing? I don't understand what we're doing. But that's okay, I guess. It's all good. She got submitted by Shevchenko, of course. Just only a world-class submission expert. This is, of course, back in 2017. Before Shevchenko's grappling even got that good. You know what I mean? Like, this was back when Shevchenko was mainly a kickboxer, and she was learning the grappling elements of the game. And Shevchenko had her down, or Julianna Pena actually had her down on the canvas, landed a couple of good shots, but then eventually, of course, Valentina Shevchenko gets the armbar. Now, Julianna Pena is a big girl, so she can smother girls on the ground and stuff like that. You know, she was just punching the body of Shevchenko on the ground the majority of the time on that fight before eventually getting armbarred. But she's such a great submission specialist. And I need to break this down to you again. She submitted Sarah McMahon after gassing out completely in the third round. Sarah McMahon, by the way, she completely gassed out, went down, couldn't really resist anything, and got rear naked choked. First submission win of her UFC career. And then her only other losses are by submission. That's how good of a jiu-jitsu expert she is. The only time she loses by submission, and not only does she lose by submission every time she loses as a jiu-jitsu phenom, she loses to kickboxers by submission. Moreover, against Germaine de Randamie, she got submitted by a standing guillotine choke. But to be fair, she landed a punch on Germaine de Randamie in that fight, you know, took her down for a second, but it just seems to be like, whenever she's on the ground, she doesn't fucking do anything there at all, or like, unless you're completely gassed out on the ground and you have no energy left to do anything like Sarah McMahon did, then she's not going to do anything to you. Like, there's no attempt to pass a guard. There's no attempt to, like, get, like, any good position. Like, she rarely takes the back. She just sort of sits there in full guard and then eventually just dives headfirst into a guillotine in the clinch by Germaine de Randamie. So, you know, if Nunes' takedown defense is up to par, which I do believe it is, which she's shown in her recent fights, she's shown an ability to grapple. Recently in her bout, she's shown a much more developed grappling game against Felicia Spencer. She got 6 takedowns, controlled Felicia Spencer for, 18 minutes? 8 minutes only of the fight, never mind, there's a chance. 8 minutes. She only dominated for 8 minutes on the ground in that fight. Other than that, she was just walking down Spencer as Spencer ran away from her the entire fight to survive, pretty much. But Nunes has shown an improvement in grappling recently. She used it against Pennington, of course, in 2018, and then she beat Cyborg without the use of it, Holly Holm without the use of it, Germaine de Randamie with the use of it, and she took her down 8 times. She did a much better job than Julianna Pena did against Germaine de Randamie, of course. Both girls got caught in a submission attempt by Germaine de Randamie, but Nunes, the striker, can get her way out of it, whereas the jiu-jitsu phenom in Julianna Pena can't and just taps to a standing guillotine. Literally the easiest submission to escape in MMA history. And Nunes dominated on the ground for 18.5 minutes against Germaine de Randamie, and landed 200 total strikes, dominated the first round, almost had a weird second round, but won the third, won the fourth, won the fifth. You know what I'm going to say as a way of doing this? I know I made a joke about what minute does she go down in first, second, third, fourth. What are the odds on Amanda Nunes by decision? Because I know she's like an 8-1 favourite, so there's no point on betting on just her to win. But I'm sure, like, maybe by decision, there's a chance of making some kind of decent money. Let me have a little look. Amanda Nunes by decision. What's the odds on this? Put down 10, get back 55? Might not be a bad idea. Julianna Pena's got a decent chin. She's a big girl. She can, like, sort of stall out fights and, like, make it a bit of, like, a boring total strike game on the ground. So there's and I don't think Nunes is as great of jiu-jitsu as Valentina Shevchenko, nor do I think she's as quick as Valentina Shevchenko, so I could actually arguably see a really fucking boring decision win for Amanda Nunes. So I'd say if you want to make some money, there's better odds on decision, in my opinion, for the worth that you're going to get back compared to picking a first round KO. What do you get for a first round KO? Put down 10, get back 23? I don't think that's worth it. I'd say put some money on it by decision. And then put down 10 and get back 55, I believe. Which is somewhat good money. So, do what you fucking want. I don't know. See you later. Like and subscribe. Can't wait for this one. Women's MMA just, you know, on the up and up. It's not like they're just feeding a woman legacy for free because she's the only one in the division that can fight whatsoever. So they can just call a women's fighter the GOAT of MMA because of this inclusion time that we're in. It's not like they're just doing that by, you know, literally fabricating a fake division for her to defend her belt in. What's next? Norma Dumont at featherweight? Yes, that's what's next. Like and subscribe. See you later. Fuck, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself.